A common question reviewers get asked when it comes to talking about games is it better to review a good or a bad game? And for the most part, it's the same. The process doesn't actually change and you don't feel any less passionate about the topic. Either because you're trying to convince people to play a game you think is fantastic, like my Spider-Man Remastered review, or you tell people why they shouldn't play a game you think is abhorrent, like my God of War video. But there's one other type of game that you can review that is a significantly worse experience. A boring game. A boring game doesn't necessarily mean a bad game. A game could be technically okay, but still boring, since it doesn't have anything that makes it particularly special. And that's the case with our game today, Devil May Cry 2. What am I even supposed to say about this game? It's the fucking worst DMC game. The combat feels extremely stiff, movement feels slow, enemies are piss easy, Ebony and Ivory are overpowered as fuck, Devil Trigger feels underwhelming, and the bosses are... there. Let's actually jump into this properly. First off, let's discuss Dante. This isn't Dante. I mean, it is him, but not the Dante we know and love. He's silent. In the whole time I was playing this game, I think I heard him say 5 lines maximum. He also just sounds bored when he does speak.
You called? Sword. Time to go to work, guys.
This party's getting crazy. Let's rock.
People complain about Dante in the reboot, but at least he has Dante's cockiness and actually speaks!
What in the shitting hell is going on here?
Moving on from that to combat, you know how DMC 1 was known for having combos and a wide variety of moves you could use to make your combat more stylish? Yeah? Well, DMC 2 does away with all of that and gives you one 3-swing combo, and that's it. Ever wonder why every other game has style videos but this one doesn't? That's because there's nothing to make it look stylish. Another problem is Ebony and Ivory. You could juggle enemies before, but you had to send them into the air first. In 2, you can start shooting an enemy with Ebony and Ivory, and if you shoot for long enough, they will simply lift the enemy up and juggle them for you. Also, you can see enemy health in the bottom of the screen, which takes all tension out of regular encounters. Dante also now has a dodge button along with the usual lock-on input for dodging. This will cause Dante to dodge in whatever direction you hold the stick, or allow him to do specific dodges along or up walls. It's very weird and doesn't flow into the limited combat at all. Even Dante's movement feels stiff. His running animation has no momentum to it. He's like a robot. Level design doesn't help with these issues because every level is far too big. Other games in the series have the appearance of big open areas while making them just the right size so that traversing them doesn't feel cumbersome. The same can't be said here as the levels are way more open but with nothing going on in them. I spent more time in this game running than I did doing anything else, and for a high octane action game that is a major flaw. I eventually got so bored with this game that I simply didn't feel the need to keep playing upon my death in Mission 4. I never want to touch this game again, and I felt no motivation to go near the other playable campaign, as if they couldn't get Dante right, what chance have they got of making another character interesting? I hope you all enjoyed this short video about Devil May Cry 2, the worst game in the Devil May Cry series. Next time I cover this series, it will hopefully be under more positive circumstances. But that's all from me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.